What's going on? I'm East Coast Beat, here to ask, who named that band Incubus? And now, this is not really a bad name for a heavy metal band, right? But this band is not heavy metal. So, this is not a comment on all heavy metal band names which seem to compete with each other in brutality, not to mention symmetry. You know, like Rodor is Rodor spelled backwards. And the logos are usually done in a cryptic font like Old English, but made so jagged that the name looks like it's symmetrical, and this takes some artistic creativity. Unless these bands are purchasing their logos from a maker of horror movie graphics, I suppose that's a possibility. An incubus is a male demon who has sex with women who are sleeping, as opposed to a succubus, which is a female demon who visits sleeping men. Ever had a sex dream? Sure you have. Well, that's an incubus or a succubus, depending on a gender dichotomy that is no longer fashionable or even reasonable. Incubus, the band, is a rock band from Calabac, California, south of Los Angeles, formed in '91 by vocalist Brandon Boyd, lead guitarist Mike Inziger, drummer Jose Pasillas, bassist Alex Katutnik, woo, and Gavin Koppel, who were both replaced by bassist Ben Kenny and DJ Kilmore. Gotta get rid of that Katutnik guy. They are a commercial success. They have sold nearly 20 million albums, and they are apolitical, contrary to what some people may think. In '91, these guys were still in high school. They chose the name Incubus prior to a gig that required a name for their ads. More gigs followed on LA's Sunset Strip, a music scene since the 1950s. You can buy combs there. No. It's cool to comb your hair in public in the 50s. Kooky. Route 66. Sunset Strip, man. Corvair convertibles. Anyhow, as far as Incubus, it'd be easier to say what music genres are not in this band's resume. This is more a comment about all the rock subgenres that have proliferated. Here are some of those: alt metal, alt rock, alt punk, alt electronic, which is electro, alt art rock, alt funk, alt funk metal, trip hop. What's trip hop? Rap metal, thrash, and alt post grunge, and that's just some of them. It's like the tip of the iceberg, kind of. And I think it's just easier not to pigeonhole artists, and in Incubus in particular, Enzinger said, "Our diversity has been an asset, but also a curse." Their first EP was titled Let Me Tell You About Root Beer. Hard on its heels, which is kind of sticky, was their debut LP Fungus Among Us, released on their own label Stop Ugly Nail Fungus Music, after they found some relief from ugly nail fungus. They signed with Sony, later Epic. Another EP, Enjoy Incubus, was their first major label release. Incubus toured with Korn in Europe in '97. Also in '97, SCIENCE, their second album, came out. This album signified a somewhat new musical direction. Slap bass and widgy turntables were used. SCIENCE sold without support of a radio. What's that? Or TV exposure. Incubus took time off to figure out what was next. Their third album, Make Yourself, was their breakout in '99. It was more of a pop rock sound, but nu metal was in a few songs. Right after its release, they went on a tour with Primus and Buckethead. Incubus released a single from the album, Pardon Me, but radio stations wouldn't touch it. What's a radio station? Incubus decided to re-release it as an acoustic number, and then radio showed interest. Since the acoustic version and the studio version were both out, radio stations went to war with each other. I did not know that. Shooting interest for both versions through the roof. Incubus put out an EP titled When Incubus Attacks Volume 1 in 2000. It contained the acoustic version of Pardon Me. The EP sold 40,000 copies in its first week and charted to number 41 in the US. They toured with Mr. Bungle. Make Yourself went gold and then platinum, and I guess that's redundant since all platinum albums were once gold, I think. Drive was the album's fourth single. It went to the top 20 and gave Incubus mainstream credentials. Another band named Incubus since 1986 from Louisiana was forced to change their name to Opprobrium. This is the Incubus that claimed Metallica was stealing their riffs. And now I don't know how they can claim this, as one Metallica riff sounds much like another, if you ask me. Just pointing this out so that one Incubus is not confused with the other Incubus, who came up with an even worse name, Opprobrium, which means harsh criticism or censure, an occasion or cause of reproach or disgrace. See, I told you, it was a worse name than Incubus. 2001, Incubus found a beachside mansion in Malibu where they worked on the next album, Morning View. When it was released, they toured with Hoobastank, a great band. Everything ground to a halt in September because of 8 Arabians with box cutters. Do you really believe that 8 Arabians with box cutters could turn those planes around and fly them into the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and the ground? They only had box cutters? It can't be so.
Are you ready?
But the media has convinced many, many people not to look there. But I know many of you will never forget and question the media. So, back to Incubus. After a month, they released their fourth album, Morning View. It was number 2 in the US in a week. It also went platinum. In December, when Incubus Attacks Volume 2 was released as a DVD, sort of a greatest hits collection with videos and live footage. In 2002, Incubus had 4 singles on the charts at one time. These were Drive number 9, Stellar number 12, Wish You Were Here at number 20, and that's not a cover. And Nice to Know You at 75. Wish You Were Here climbed to number 10. Warning to number 16, and Nice to Know You to 26 on the alt-rock format chart. Dirk Lance left, Ben Kenny replaced him. In the next album, A Crow Left of the Murder. Incubus has made a lot of money for Sony, but not for themselves. They sued, and Sony sued right back. Incubus claimed that Sony had violated state law by offering a 7-year contract. In the end, the contract was restructured in Incubus's favor, and it was only right. 2004. A Crow ... was a new direction on tour. The Police, no, the band, not the Thin Blue Line, joined the Incubus on stage for a rendition of Message in a Bottle and Roxanne. Was Sting with them? No, he was not. 2006 saw Chrissie Hynde as a ghost. No, not as a ghost, as a guest artist. Ghost artist. As a guest artist, perform a duet with Boyd on a new song Neither of Us Can See. It would appear on the next album, Light Grenades. There was also a cover of Soundgarden's Black Hole Sun, and wow, what a song that was, huh? The album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, and then 2011, If Not Now, When? In 2006, What's When? That's When. Their 8th album, that's 8, was released, and Incubus continues. Now, if I've got any luck whatsoever, when I lay my head down to sleep, I will be visited, not by the band, not by an Incubus. How about just a real pleasant, beautiful sex dream with no repercussions and no things coming up to haunt me afterward? I don't know, maybe not possible. Anyhow, who named that band Succubus? No one. It's because they're called Incubus. Good band. Bad name. See you next time.